8.6, rationalizing two-term denominators. The only difference here is now my denominator has two terms, so I still can't have a radical on the bottom, but I can't do the trick of just multiplying by the square root of 2 because I would have to distribute it to both these terms, or both 3 and negative square root of 2. So I have to think about this as a quantity. If I multiply it by the square root of 2, yes, it'll cancel out that radical, but it'll create one here when I multiply it by 3. So the trick here is, and we talked about it in 8.45, I need to multiply by the exact same thing except for its conjugate. The reason I'm doing that is because that outside and the outside terms multiplied and the inside terms multiplied will cancel each other out, and that's what I need. That'll remove my radicals. I gotta remember whenever I do the bottom, I have to do the top. All right, so I get 5 times 3, distribute. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times the square root of 2 is plus 5 square root of 2. Over, down here, I'm gonna FOIL, but I get to skip the O and the I like we did previously. So the first times the first, 3 times 3 is 9. We'll go ahead and do the full FOIL so we see what happens. 3 times the square root of 2 is plus 3 square roots of 2. Negative square root of 2 times 3 is negative 3 square roots of 2. Negative square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is minus 2. All right? These two terms, when you multiply conjugates, always cancel each other out. 3 square roots of 2 minus 3 square roots of 2 cancels each other out. So basically what's happening when we FOIL that, those two always cancel out whenever it's conjugates. So going forward, all you have to do is the first times the first, last times the last, and then combine them. Up here I get 15 plus 5 square root of 2 over 9 minus 2 is 7. All right. If that 7 had something in common with this 5 and that 15, I'd have to reduce that fraction. But because they don't, I can't. So that's as far as we can take that one. All right. We'll get one more. We'll do it just like I would do it if I was doing it on a test. Let's say we have 4 over 2 minus the square root of 3. I know I've got to rationalize the denominator. I've got to think of this as a quantity. I'm going to multiply by the conjugate, 2 plus the square root of 3. Same thing on top. I'm going to distribute the top. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times the square root of 3 is plus 4 square roots of 3. Over, I'm just going to do the first times the first. 2 times 2 is 2. The last times the last. Negative square root of 3, a negative times a positive is going to be a minus. The square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. That's going to give me 8 plus 4 square roots of 3 over 2 minus 3 is just negative 1. And that's really not the best way to leave that one. Two times 2 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1, which is going to be equal to 8 plus 4 square root of 2. So that's twice in 2 sections that I made cheesy mistakes when I was writing them down that would have cost me points on my test. So just be really careful whenever you're doing them. Make sure you're doing them one step at a time. Double check them. Fortunately, I was able to catch that one. And that will do it for 8.6. Pretty much that'll get you through all your homework.